Welcome into another episode of Mood Swings with Liv Moods. I am Liv Moods, and as always, this is presented by Landmark Lincoln. Shout out to our friends over at Landmark Lincoln. Make sure you head to their location off of Bellevue and Broadway to figure out why they have been the #1 Lincoln dealer in Colorado for as long as they have. I say it every show. I'm a proud new owner of a Lincoln Nautilus. Could not love the car more. Make sure you head to their location, get in one of those cars, drive them. They speak for themselves. Enough about cars. Let's get into the show. Welcome in, everyone, and happy Victory Monday. Is it Monday? It feels like a Friday already, guys. I don't know what's going on, but I am awfully exhausted. Maybe it's because yet another Sunday has gone by where the Broncos have kept us on our toes, on the edge of our seats. We've all been sweating it out. But again, I say Victory Monday. As you guys know, my producer is a Chiefs fan. So I'm feeling great. She's feeling horrible. And that's the way it should be, honestly. AFC West, yet again, the Broncos are sitting at the top of the AFC West. The Chiefs are still in third place. I forgot about the Chargers already. I really only care about the Chiefs, and they're the third best team in the AFC West. The Broncos are the best team in the AFC West. We're going to get into all things NFL today, really. As you guys can see, though, I am wearing a little bit of NBA gear today because I am going to the Denver Nuggets game tonight. Why, you may be wondering? Well, because Russell Westbrook is back in Denver. Yes. And you guys know I'm a Russell Westbrook truther through and through. So why would I not go see him back in Denver? My only hope and prayer is that nobody is booing him. If I hear one single Denver fan boo Russell Westbrook, I will lose it. I will pop off. So don't want that to happen. Had to wear my little NBA gear though, because we are in the thick of the NBA season. I have to tell you guys a quick little story. I was in New York City last week for a work trip. Flight got delayed. It was a whole thing. Hence why you did not get a show for me on Friday. Yes, I was stuck in the JFK airport for hours. By hours, I mean, I got there at 7:30 a.m. and I did not leave till 3 p.m. It's true. Yes, it was a very brutal experience. Missed my show, was not able to get back in enough time. And where was I going with this? Honestly, I don't know. Oh, I get back home. Right? The Nuggets are playing that night. And I doze off on the couch. I fell asleep because I was tired. Wake up, I'm seeing all this noise on the timeline about this jump ball that was a bunch of bogus from the refs, per usual. No one's shocked about the NBA refs pissing everybody off, let's be real. And when I fell asleep, the Nuggets were winning that game and looked pretty stinking good. Turns out they lost at the buzzer, so I'm hoping tonight versus the Sacramento Kings, the Denver Nuggets can get the job done so we can be really happy-go-lucky Denver sports fans. Obviously, the Broncos are really helping with that. So shout out to the Denver Broncos. And let's start the show with that conversation, shall we? The Denver Broncos, 6 straight wins, you guys. Okay, as if it couldn't get any better. We were just riding 5, feeling really, really good. Now we're at 6. We hear it all the time. Defense wins championships, and boy, does it. This Broncos defense is spectacular, and they lead the league in 3 different categories, actually. Sacks at 40, QB hits at 9.78, and passes defended at 57. Okay, this is a really stinking good defense. It is. This defense held the Houston Texans to 0 touchdowns scored. That's right, 0. Boring game. And it does put into perspective quite a bit how the offense was pretty slow moving in this one for the Denver Broncos, considering we only won by a field goal and it was a very low scoring affair. But this was a defensive battle and we knew it was going to be. The Houston Texans have a phenomenal defense as well. We know what the Denver Broncos defense has been bringing all season long. But 0 touchdowns being scored is pretty stinking impressive. CJ Stroud is a phenomenal quarterback. We know what he's capable of. So this is a defense that not only held the Texans to 0 touchdowns scored in this game, but they've also done that 4 times this season. This is an elite, I'm talking a championship level defense. Not only do you have the best pass rush duo in Bonitto and Cooper that I talk about often, you had a lot of other playmakers on this defense that showed themselves this game. Hufanga. Okay, monster game by him, 5 big-time tackles. And I want to do a quick little segment here called Charmin Ultra Soft, sponsored by the NBA. I'm sorry, not the NBA. Charmin Ultra Soft, sponsored by the NFL officials. Yes, okay. Brandon Jones? Unnecessary roughness for doing his job? Cry me a river, build a bridge, and get over it. This is a man's sport. This is a big boy, tough guy sport, okay? These are men trying to rip each other's heads off on the Lord's Day, a Sunday. It's true. We watch this every single weekend. Brandon Jones, a spectacular hit. And we don't talk about Brandon Jones enough. Yes, I may be a little biased. He is a friend of mine. He is a wonderful human being, but he's a badass football player, and that needs to be talked about more. He really softened the blow of losing Justin Simmons, and I don't think we discussed that enough. I think the Broncos fans, Broncos country as a whole, really was sad to see Justin go. We all loved him. I still, to this day, I'm like, oh, I miss him. Brandon Jones comes in and kind of makes us forget all about it, right? He is everywhere, always making plays. He's really made a big play in a lot of games this season where he's come in clutch. We don't talk about how easy he made that transition, losing Justin Simmons. We just don't talk about it enough. He's everywhere. Brandon, keep doing your thing, okay? Charmin Ultrasoft are these NFL officials, and I'm over it. You were playing football, and you're damn good at it. So keep doing it. Keep ripping the heads off of these opposing offensive members, please and thank you. I appreciate it. There's a tweet that I saw, you guys. There was a tweet floating around the Twitter sphere. Yes, it's true. There was a tweet, and it shouldn't shock you. It shouldn't shock you, okay? Because this tweet was from a Chiefs fan. Yes, a salty Chiefs fan who's licking her wounds, probably. I don't know. Not my problem. This tweet's interesting. Let's talk about it. The Broncos defense has been playing dirty. Huh? What are you talking about? What are you talking about, woman? Jody, what are you talking about? Playing dirty all season, you say? Undisciplined all season, you say? And you're sick of it? I'd be sick of it too. I'd be sick of it too if the team that was the number one team in the AFC West, the team that my team is also in, had a defense that was statistically better than yours in every single category. I would hate it too. I would be sick of it as well. But undisciplined, dirty, come on. If she's referencing the CJ Stroud hit, let's talk about that, shall we? Like I said, take this with a grain of salt. This is coming from a Chiefs fan who is probably feeling extraordinarily salty at the moment. All fair. Let's talk about that CJ Stroud hit, though, because I do want to discuss the nature in which he got hit. It did look pretty nasty, right? I mean, it looked nasty because it looked painful. It didn't look comfortable. It looked like a hit that you're like, ooh, ow. That didn't look like it felt very good. That being said, dirty, that's a stretch. It was actually, in my opinion, a very legal hit. There was nothing dirty about it. Now, here's the conversation that needs to be opened up around CJ Stroud's hit. By the way, huge CJ Stroud fan and wishing him nothing but a quick and speedy recovery, okay? I don't like seeing any quarterback get hit like that, even if it's at the expense of my defense, and my defense was playing lights out. I don't care. I don't want to see a QB get hit in that way. But let's talk about it. We have got to, with the most swiftness, ban the QB slide. I'm sorry. There's this thing, I'm not sure if everybody knows about this thing called gravity and momentum, but when you have those two things working against you, it becomes really, really hard for a defender who is committed to what he's doing with momentum and gravity working in his favor to then switch his momentum on a dime because a quarterback decides to last minute slide. I think, honestly, this should start becoming a flag on the quarterback. If we care about protecting quarterbacks in this league, which I know the NFL does because we have watched the game kind of evolve in a soft nature to protect our quarterbacks, it's just the truth. Okay, some of the roughing the passer calls that we see out there, it's like, really? This is football at the end of the day. Let's not forget that. This is still tackle football, okay? So we've protected quarterbacks in enough of a way that I think a lot of football fans would say the game has gotten a little soft, okay? We're doing a little too much now to protect our quarterbacks. If the NFL at all cares about protecting the quarterbacks, they will ban this quarterback slide. It's dangerous. We've seen it time and time again with quarterbacks like Trevor Lawrence. It's happened to. We've seen it with CJ Stroud. We've seen it more than one time with Tua. Okay, so what we're seeing in these moments is a quarterback at the last second deciding to slide. And there's going to be conversations out there. It wasn't last second. It was. Maybe not when you watch it in slow motion, but when you're in a game, okay, helmet on and everything, and your job as a defender is to attack. That is literally your job. You cannot expect these big, grown, strong, fast, grown men to, on a dime, change their momentum and their direction because a quarterback last minute decides to slide. I just think you have more harm than good in those situations. And I don't want this to discourage quarterbacks from using their legs because I actually love that aspect of the game right now. I love seeing more quarterbacks really showing their athleticism, getting moving, using their legs, making big plays. I don't want that to stop, but I do think if you really care about protecting the quarterback, you'll make it hard for them to get hit in such a way, right? You literally in a decision to last second slide as a quarterback, you are putting your head in traffic. That's what you're doing. Especially if it's a last minute decision. If you decide at the last second to slide as a quarterback, you are putting your head in harm's way almost automatically because the defenders have already committed to what they're doing. Now, we've seen it before. Some defenders definitely take this in, a little too far, and it is very intentional. There was nothing about this hit on CJ Stroud, in my opinion, that looked intentional at all. It was not dirty. It was legal. It was unintentional. So my point is, in order to prevent injuries like what we saw to CJ Stroud from happening again, you've got to get rid of this QB slide. You have to. It's nearly impossible to ask these big, strong, fast defenders to, on a dime, change their momentum and their direction to protect a quarterback's head. It's almost impossible in some situations. So praying for CJ Stroud, but the tweet that we just showed you, first of all, calling this Broncos defense undisciplined is laughable. I actually think they might be the most disciplined defense. And like I mentioned earlier, the 40 sacks leading the league, the 9.78 QB hits leading the league, and the 57 passes defended also leading the league would prove that they are a very disciplined defense. So I just want to go ahead and say the Broncos being undisciplined, again, coming from a Chiefs fan who probably just doesn't like to see the Broncos at the top of the AFC West, fine. I'm going to take it with a grain of salt, but I wouldn't use the word undisciplined at all to describe this Broncos defense. And I wouldn't use dirty either. So the CJ Stroud hit was not dirty. It was legal. And unfortunately, that is why I think the conversation then has to expand on why the QB slide should no longer be allowed. And that's all I'm going to say on that. Okay. Thank you. Let's talk a little bit more about this Broncos team. Statistically speaking, the Broncos' last 2 wins have been versus the best defense and the best offense in the league. Statistically speaking. Okay. We can no longer call what the Denver Broncos are doing a stroke of luck, right? We just can't and it's funny. You would think riding a 6-game win streak, right, and being 7-2 and the best team in the AFC West, that the Bo Nix doubt is done. We're done questioning Bo Nix. It appears not. Let's put that other tweet up on the board, huh? Let's put that other tweet up on the board. Bo Nix is genuinely one of the worst quarterbacks that you've seen play for the NFL this year. What on earth is your problem? Okay. Also, take this with a grain of salt. This is a Texans fan. Yeah, a Texans fan tweeted this. So I'm not really going to take it to heart all that much. Frankly, I know why he tweeted this, And also, if you're tweeting this as a Texans fan, what does that say about your squad? That one of the worst quarterbacks in the league just dealt you an L. Yikes. Okay. Bo Nix, here's the deal. It should not be a controversial opinion that Bo Nix is a winner, because it's not a controversial opinion. It's actually a fact. Okay. He is leading a 7-2 team, the best team in the AFC West, which is arguably one of the most competitive divisions in the NFL. And we are still trying to decide if this guy's a good quarterback. What are we talking about? Okay. He plays his best football when it matters most. And that is something I don't think we talk about enough as it pertains to Bo Nix. His ability to forget and move on, his ability to keep his composure, his ability to stay calm when things are not going his way is something that, frankly, can't be taught. You've either got it or you don't. It's one of those things, like when we say that quarterbacks have that dog in them, it's like you can't really explain what that means. You just, when you know. Part of having dog in you, and I'm not saying Bo Nix, don't mishear me now. I don't know if I'm all the way there with Bo Nix, but he has flashes of dog in him, and I'm going to tell you why. When he is trailing, when this Broncos team is trailing, he only plays better. That is a skill set that cannot be taught. You can't teach a quarterback how to stay calm in really pressured situations or how to rise to the occasion. You either have that or you don't, and Bo Nix has it. whether you like it or not. He has got it going on, okay? Do I absolutely think there are elements of Bo Nix games that could use a little bit of improvement, especially if I'm trying to picture a deep playoff run for this Broncos team? Absolutely. But simultaneously, I will also say I think the play calling needs improvement. Absolutely. If this Broncos team wants to make a deep playoff run, you're not going to be able to always get a dub when you don't show up for the first 3 quarters offensively. You're just not. It's not always going to work out for you. And I've said that time and time again. All these close games or them fighting back into a game shows a really great thing about this Broncos team, which is that tenacity, that grit, that ability to keep their composure when things aren't going right and fight like hell to get back into a game. That is a really great trait. But the downside of that is, where were you for 3 quarters? I understand that as well. It's not like it's all rainbows and butterflies over here in Broncos country. We're fully aware of the fact that this Broncos team needs to fire it up a little bit quicker. But I don't think it's fair to place all of that on Bo Nix, especially when I'm watching 3rd and 10 and we're doing a little horizontal toss. Like, that makes sense. Okay, that's not always coming from Bo Nix, might I add. That's a whole operational issue there. So that's play calling involved. That's Bo Nix. That's Bo Nix for sure, partially to blame for the first 3 quarters falling flat sometimes. Absolutely. So there's things that I will say Bo Nix needs to improve upon for sure. Absolutely, for sure. But to be questioning whether this is or isn't a good quarterback is comical to me. This is a 7-2 football team, best in the AFC West. You think they'd be in this position if Bo Nix didn't do what he did for the past few games, either for the 4 quarters versus the Dallas Cowboys, or the 4th quarter versus the Giants, or the 4th quarter versus the Texans? Bo has a huge part to do with why this Broncos team is 7-2. You could also make a case for maybe there's times where Bo Nix is part of the reason that we're not 9-0. Maybe. But it's an operational. I think our offensive issues are operational. They are not Bo Nix specific, okay? Although there are ways that I would like to see Bo Nix improve his game, this is not a Bo Nix issue. So the fact that we're even still having conversation about the talent and the skill set and the level in which Bo Nix should be viewed and or respected at is crazy to me. It's not controversial to say Bo Nix is a winning quarterback, because guess what? He is. He is. When it matters most, he's playing his best football. When the play calling sets this offense back, which is completely out of Bo Nix's control, he still is finding a way to get into games, stay alive in games, and find ways to come back and win. So I don't understand this weirdo energy by people that are still trying to find fault with Bo Nix. He's giving you exactly what you need, which is the offense isn't always going to click. The play calling isn't always going to make sense, but Bo Nix is never out of a game. I guarantee you this tweet was probably sent before the game was over. I've warned people about this. You cannot tweet opinions about Bo Nix until the game is done, because I promise you he will do something that makes you eat your words. It's the truth. I've learned the hard way a couple of times. You know, I've put a lot of tweets in the drafts of my account, because I'm watching the game and I'm like, oh, 2 seconds later, oh, let me delete that really quick. Yep. Were you silent or were you silenced? Yeah, Bo Nix is the king of silencing the haters, and he's going to continue to do so. I wouldn't be shocked if this Broncos team, heading into their Chiefs battle, which we know is going to be a battle, but they're playing at home versus the Chiefs. The Chiefs will be coming off of a bye week. I wouldn't be shocked if the Chiefs are matching up with a 8-2 Broncos team as they take on, a really sorry Raiders team this Thursday night. So, guys, how crazy that we exist in a world where you could be the quarterback of a 7-2 team and people are still trying to figure out if you're a good quarterback or not. You sound stupid. Honestly, I was going to say silly, but that doesn't cover it. You sound stupid when you say these sorts of things. So cut it out. Anyway, shout out Bo Nix. You know what? Keep doing your thing. 4th quarter passer rating for Bo Nix this season, 112.8. Fight with the wall. Go take a walk. Okay? Kick rocks. I don't know what else to tell you. Again, Texans fan here, probably just feeling salty and in his feelings. So I'll let him have his moment. But guys, we got to start being for real. I'm so serious. Bo Nix being a good quarterback should not even be up for discussion. Now, if you want to put him, is it good versus great? Maybe we could have a conversation. But is Bo Nix a good quarterback? Does a bear shit in the woods? What are we doing here, guys? Enough. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on to as it stands in the NFL. What's everything happening? What's happening right about now? Let's start with the AFC East. Shout out Patriots on an absolute heater right about now. 7-2, just like my Denver Broncos. I believe Patriots, Colts, Broncos, best records in the NFL. Who would have thunk it? Can you imagine? Preseason, would you have thought by week 9 the Patriots, the Colts, and the Broncos had the best records in the NFL? Forget about it, okay? Patriots 7-2. The Bills handing the Kansas City Chiefs a little L yesterday. Loved that. I was a Bills fan yesterday. Yep, as soon as that Broncos game was done, I was like, let's go Josh Allen. Do what you got to do. Okay. I was actually talking to my producer who's a big Chiefs fan. She said, I don't know what was going on with the Chiefs yesterday. They didn't look like they really cared very much. Maybe they don't. Maybe they don't care. Maybe there's some weird, the environment, the culture of a football team matters more than I think people think. Maybe there's some stuff going on behind the scenes. I'm not sure. But I love seeing the Bills take down the Chiefs. It's one of my favorite pastimes, honestly. Dolphins, Jets, not a whole lot to say here, you guys. The Jets, I mean, dear God. One win on the season so far. Something's got to give. I actually think out of all the sports fans out there, I feel the most sorry for the Jets. I mean, imagine getting Aaron Rodgers thinking this is our moment. Boom, Achilles gone. What? Then you get him back. He's healthy. He's ready to play. And coach is fired mid-season. Aaron Rodgers does not look like himself. I mean, just bad stuff. The Dolphins, you already know how I feel about that. Tua, get your life together. I mean, my God. I watched that Thursday night game, it was last Thursday night game, and I was like, Tua, get your life together. I don't know what is going on, but he is just a shell of himself, and I kind of feel like he should pack it up here pretty soon. It's not looking good. Okay, AFC North. This is probably the most interesting division that we've got going on because just the other night before the Thursday night football game, Ravens-Dolphins, the Ravens, being a 2-5 team, were still the favorite to win the division. If that doesn't show you how ass backwards the AFC North is, I don't know what does. Jamar Chase, obviously, still very frustrated by the season, by things that are happening in game, probably things that are happening off the field as well. I feel like Jamar Chase is always frustrated, but do you blame him? And to be honest with you, I don't think I do. When you're playing at the caliber that Jamar Chase was playing at last season, just to be a team that's record is like unimpressive. You're playing at an MVP level. Jamar Chase had the best numbers as a receiver last season. He was quite literally, if it weren't just a quarterback award, Jamar Chase made a serious case for himself for MVP. And that was with starting the season with some contract drama. Okay. He set that aside. He balled out. Part of me is just ready for Jamar Chase to be freed from the shackles here. And I know that's probably not going to happen, but dear God, it feels like I want to see the same thing happen for Jamar Chase that we've seen with Stephon Diggs. Get him somewhere else where there's a healthy squad around him. He's being fed the rock at all times, and he's absolutely thriving. I'm starting to feel a little sorry for some of these receivers. And Jamar Chase, for the most part, the Bengals, like if they had a healthy Joe Burrow, I'm not sure that it would be as bad as it is, but the reality is Joe Burrow, putting my money on Joe Burrow to stay healthy, I don't think I'm willing to do at this point. The Steelers, to me, I'm a huge Mike Tomlin fan, really, really love him. I think he's one of the best head coaches in the NFL. I just can't with Aaron Rodgers. You guys have heard it from me time and time again, and I'm going to keep saying it. I hate his attitude. I find him exceptionally annoying. I'm just not a fan. So if he's the quarterback of the team, I'm likely just not interested. That's what it is. I'm just not interested. I'm not a hater because I really, really like Mike Tomlin. And I think there's a lot of aspects of the Steelers that I do enjoy. I like DK Metcalf. I like Watt. There's a lot of guys that I like on that team. And Mike Tomlin, again, I've always watched the Steelers with very high praise because of Mike Tomlin being the coach. But when it comes to Rodgers, I just can't do it. I can't do it. And we're seeing regression with the Steelers defense. So all of that to say, the Steelers right now sitting at the top of the AFC North, I don't think it lasts long. I think the Ravens, now that Lamar Jackson is back and healthy, hopefully they find a couple of answers for that Swiss cheese defense they've got going on, and we get the Ravens back at the top of the AFC North. That's the only thing that makes sense in my brain. If you notice, I didn't say anything about the Browns. I have nothing to say about the Browns. Okay, moving on. AFC South, can you believe it? The flipping Colts just absolutely running through the AFC right now. What's going on here, guys? I mean, honestly, this is a very complete football team. I really like watching them play. That being said, before the season started, I had the Jags to actually win the AFC South. I still hope that happens a little bit because I have a ticket on it. There, I said it. For selfish reasons, I would like the Jags to win this division. That being said, I can't be mad at all about what this Colts team is doing. Now, weirdly enough, do I trust this Colts team to make a deep playoff run? I don't know. Because we know that the playoffs are a very different beast. They just are. Do I trust this new and improved Indiana Jones version of Danny Dimes? I do in the regular season. I don't know how I feel about postseason with this team. I just don't know. That being said, I've also been sitting around waiting. Now, I'm coming off of the heels of a game where Trevor Lawrence had a very big play, helped win that game. I saw his wife take to Instagram to say that he and her were both up all night sick the night before that game. So to even see Trevor Lawrence on the field, she was like, I am stunned. We were up all night, so sick. He made huge plays. He did his thing. There's a reliability factor missing for me with Trevor Lawrence. When Trevor Lawrence is on, man, is he good. Man, is he fun to watch. But I'm just still waiting to be able to confidently say with my chest, Trevor Lawrence is the type of quarterback that no matter how much time is left on the clock, he will find a way to win. I'm just not there yet. Now, the thing about Trevor Lawrence that I really love and appreciate is he will always play hard. Always. So for that, you have to just automatically love and respect Trevor Lawrence and want nothing but the best for him and his team. That being said, I'm waiting to see what happened last game just happen every game. Like, as long as Trevor Lawrence is out there, they've got a real shot. And there's some games where I'm just like, he's very out of body. He's turning the ball over left and right. So I just want to see a little bit more consistency out of Trevor Lawrence so that I can be really, really convinced about this Jags team because they've got the pieces. They really do. The run game, the QB, Travis Hunter, we know Colorado CU Buffs guy. So there's a lot of things that I like about this Jags team. I'm just waiting to see it all come together consistently. Is that fair? Trevor Lawrence is always going to give you his best and just give it 110%. So for that reason, I'm not off the Trevor Lawrence train yet. I know some people that are. I know some people that have seen what they've needed to see and now they're just like, yeah, I'm done. I don't need to see any more. I'm not there yet with him. I actually really like Trevor Lawrence. I just want to see more consistency out of him and this Jags team as a whole. Texans, we already know how that goes. Unfortunately, my Broncos had to deal them a little L this weekend. Sorry about it. And the Titans, rough scene out there. What do we do? I don't know, but I'm not loving what the Titans have been dealing out. That's just the facts. Okay, moving on. AFC West. You already know what time it is. Put it up there, Andy. I know you don't want to. Yes, there it is. What do you know it? The Denver Broncos, 7-2. Yes, please and thank you. Denver Broncos leading the AFC West. You got to love to see it, okay? And like I said, the Broncos will be facing the Raiders on Thursday night this week. I believe I am going to that game, so you already know. You'll have I'm sure, a plethora of videos of me acting like a psychopath from the stands. Get used to it. Broncos should, in my opinion, go into that next Chiefs game. Yes, division rival versus the Kansas City Chiefs, who we know at any given moment can just fire it up and turn it on. Scary, but it's the truth. When you've got Patrick Mahomes, anything is possible. Hate it, but it's the truth, Patrick Mahomes kind of gives that same similar comfort as a Nikola Jokic, where it's like, yeah, if he's out there, you never know what you're going to get. Could be your worst nightmare. Could find a loophole and figure out how to stop him. This Broncos defense has a very big job on their hands in terms of the pass rush. Thank God we've got Nick Bonitto and Cooper, who are arguably the best pass rush duo in the NFL. So Patrick Mahomes might be shaking in his boots. I sure hope he is. That being said, this Thursday, the Broncos will take on the Raiders, who No offense, but I'm not all that threatened by. That being said, I actually tweeted and was like, why on earth would you go for 2 there? Um, I'll tell you why. They've got nothing to lose and everything to gain. And by the way, sometimes those are the most scary teams that exist. The Raiders playing in a division rivalry matchup versus the Denver Broncos, who have all the momentum in the world right now. The Raiders have absolutely nothing to lose at this point. Nothing. And everything to gain. So that's the team you actually fear the most, is the ones that come right on your turf in a division rivalry game and just say, yeah, we're here to make you look sorry. We're here to cut your momentum in half and embarrass you. And those are the teams you have to be the most terrified of, if we're being honest. So, I'm not going into this Thursday night game feeling like, woo, this one's, walk in the park. On paper, yes, it should be 100%. But anything gives in a division game, especially versus the Raiders. We've seen it before. So not feeling like overly confident, but if my brain is doing this, taking over for me here, my brain is saying that this Broncos team should go into that Chiefs game, this next Chiefs game after this Raiders game, 8-2. That's a really great spot to be in when you're taking on Patrick Mahomes and company, right? To be 8-2. Don't hate it. Don't hate it at all. So, the Chargers, to me, obviously a threat in their own right. They've been dealing with injuries all season long. They just had another one happen to them this most recent weekend versus the Titans. Is that who they played? So, injuries may stand in the Chargers' way of really doing something here. The Chargers also have kind of a tough schedule remaining. And not to say that the Broncos and Chiefs don't, but to me, I have a feeling towards the end of the season, it'll be the Broncos and the Chiefs kind of duking this one out to win the AFC West. So only time will tell there. Let's get into the NFC really quick. NFC East, you've got Eagles, Cowboys, Commanders, Giants. We're going to get a little bit into that Commanders conversation here in just a bit for my Off My Chest segment. But for now, I'll tell you this. The Eagles, to me, they're not going back to back. I just don't feel it. It's not a feeling that I have in my bones and deep in my gut. I will tell you guys this. I don't know if you remember this. I had the Eagles winning the Super Bowl, I think, before the season started. I had a really, really profitable Super Bowl. I did. From anytime touchdown scores to my futures ticket that paid me out real nice and real pretty. I don't feel it with the Eagles this season. I just don't. I think ultimately those toxic, tumultuous relationships happening within the team are going to stand in their way. You're not going to be able to be a true threat and dominate the way the Eagles did last season when you're not even on the same page with your locker room. It's just not going to happen. And I think we've gotten to a point now where I just don't. I think it's going to do more harm than good, these little issues that they have, even if they're just little. I think eventually they stack on top of one another and it's just going to stand in their way, because at the end of the day, if you're not on the same team, if you're not on the same page with your team for every step of the way throughout the playoffs, it's going to become a problem. Because I like the Lions. I like the Packers, okay? The NFC North has got some motion in there. The Seahawks, I don't mind them either. So I just think the Eagles, as good as they are, I don't know. I could just see there being some issues there with all the little drama things that they've got going on. The Cowboys, so long as their defense looks the way it does, they are not a threat to me or to anyone in the NFC, if I'm being honest. That offense is phenomenal, and it feels really crappy to see it wasted. But there's also a part of me that's like, ha ha, in your face, Jerry Jones. Getting rid of Micah Parsons might have been the stupidest thing you've ever done in your life. And actually, you deserve to be punished for it, because you make a lot of foolish decisions and we all just sit back and excuse it because you're old. I'm done, Grandpa. Okay? Pass the torch along. You've done enough. Okay? You have actually ticked off way too many people. And you having a Swiss cheese defense is exactly what you deserve. I'm just saying. Which sucks, because you've got Dak Prescott playing at an MVP level, and it feels like it really is going to waste. So, Jerry, think about that when you lay your head down to sleep tonight. How about that? Okay. Commanders. This one's tough. This one's tough and sad to me. I didn't realize just how many injuries took place in the game just last night. I mean, brutal for this Commanders team, because boy, do they have the talent. Boy, does this team have the talent. And so it's sad, but it's true. I think this is a year for the Commanders where It's just not their year. It's just not their year, and that is not to say that their year is not right around the corner, but this year in particular, I just think with all the injuries, it's just gonna be really tough mid-season to flip things around and keep it pushing. So, I don't know. I do we have an update on Jaden Daniels and how long he's gonna be out? I don't know. We're gonna get into that injury in just a second. It's my off my chest segment, don't you worry. But this one's a tough one. As for the Giants, no more Cam Scattaboo. What can you do? You know, Jackson Dart, as great as he is, I think the Giants put themselves on the map, though. Jackson Dart and Cam Scattaboo showed people out there, we've got something going on. You get Neighbors back in the mix there. This is a good team. There's a very high ceiling for this Giants team. They're young. They're exciting to watch. They're talented. I just don't think it's their year. Could they be a threat in a year or two? For sure. Not yet, though. Not yet, though. They're not there yet. This is a really, really important, almost mandatory building year for them, but this is not their year. Okay, NFC North, as I mentioned. What an interesting one this one is as well. Very competitive. Hello, Bears. Where have you been? Good to see you. Glad you could join us. Glad you could start playing some football with us. It's good to see you, okay? Nice to meet you. We're the NFL. Happy to have you, Bears. Packers, you know, I was really riding high with this team. And then they met the Panthers. Huh? What? Packers. Just a couple days ago, maybe weeks ago, I don't remember. I can't keep track of time these days. Just a little bit ago, I was talking about you being the most complete football team in the NFL. And then you meet the Carolina Panthers and you crap your pants. What's going on here? I don't get it. This is the NFL for you. Buckle up. It's only getting scarier from here, folks. I know Halloween's over, but spooky season is not done yet. It's the truth. Okay. The Lions, another threat. Got to be honest. I like the Lions, and I think the Lions, honestly, it's going to be a close call to me, Packers, Lions, to take this division. It is. The Lions, though, one of those teams where you ride high with them all season. You start feeling good. You start placing little futures tickets because you like what you see. And then you get Jared Goff in the postseason, and you're like, who is that? Who is this man cosplaying as Jared Goff? Because that is not Jared Goff. That's not the Jared Goff we got all season. Who is that? So, yeah, the Lions are one of those teams I won't hold my breath, right? Like, I love watching them play football. They're very exciting, high-level offense. You love what you get from them week to week to week. And then the postseason comes around, and you just kind of hold your breath. And you just kind of let them do what they got to do and hope that you're not caught in the crossfire and you're not collateral damage. So, I don't know. If you made me pick a team in the NFC North right now that I think really has the best chance at going deep, it's going to be the Packers for sure. Jordan Love has proven to me a couple of different times now that he's got what it takes. And then they meet the Panthers. Again, what's happening here, guys? This is strange behavior. But this is a pretty competitive one. The Vikings obviously dealing with lots of injuries. You get JJ McCarthy back. Can he stay healthy? What does that look like? I don't know. Okay. But the Vikings, I actually picked them to miss the playoffs this season. So them being dead last in the NFC North definitely helps that for me. But I did kind of foresee this. I do have a ticket for the Vikings to miss the playoffs. My little parlay of that actually is the Vikings to miss, the Bears to make, and the Steelers to miss. So the Steelers are probably going to be the ones that throw that off for me, unless they just tank the rest of the season and the Ravens climb to the top and the Bengals figure it out. Who knows? But that division, the AFC North, both Norths right now are causing some strange things to happen. I think they're just going to be odd all season long. But shout out to the Bears. That's probably my biggest takeaway from the NFC North. I see you, Bears. Okay. I see you. I like what I see. The NFC South, if I'm being honest, it's a joke over there. Sorry. God, wasn't that harsh. It's the truth, though. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are honest to God in a league of their own. Now, let me not give a little bit of love to this Panthers team. Hi, how are ya? Okay, I really love seeing Bryce Young in a position where he's winning football games and people actually maybe care that he's playing football. Like I enjoy this for him. I do. The Panthers to me though are not a team that I would say, you know, I don't take them serious in terms of a deep playoff run by any means, but I'm certainly very happy for the Panthers to finally show that they can play some football. Falcons, Saints, forget about it. I'm over it. It's just one of those like where you just really, this is a cakewalk for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They just have to keep doing bare minimum and they will win this division. So shout out to Tampa Bay. You had Baker Mayfield starting the season playing at a very high MVP caliber level. And the rest of the division is just like, we're just here. We're just here because we have to be, right? So anyway, but the Panthers, shout out to you. I actually enjoy watching Bryce Young, have his moment. I really do. And finally, the NFC West, weird, odd, bizarre, weird. We got to do, I'm sorry, but here's the deal about it. There needs to be some serious thought put into as an owner, as a franchise, you got to start looking into the injuries that happened to this 49ers team. It's not just that they're unlucky. Something is going wrong in the offseason, in the preparation, in the training that is creating such a injured culture for this team. My God. I don't know how to feel about the 49ers because I haven't been able to see them all on the field at once healthy many times this season. Now, if you did get that, yeah, the 49ers have enough pieces to be a threat, no matter how you shake it. Feel like we've seen some regression in that defense that at one point was really carrying them early in the season. So there's still time here. How I feel about the NFC West outside of the Cardinals, who, again, maybe just sit this one out. Maybe sit this season out a little bit. Outside of the Cardinals, I've got the Rams winning this division. That's what I picked early in the season. I picked the Rams to win their division. That being said, I did say a few weeks ago that this little Sam Darnold JSN combo was something nice that I really liked. And it would not shock me if the Seahawks walk away with the NFC West this season. Just saying. I'm me likey what I see from Sam Darnold. It's the truth. And JSN, what do you want to know about it? The dude's a baller. Moving on. Okay. Really quickly here. Just got to let you guys know about a little thing called a Corsair. You ever heard of it? Bet you have, because I've talked about it before right here on this show. Step into the 2025 Lincoln Corsair GT plug-in hybrid where style meets innovation. For a limited time, get 0% APR for 36 months or 0.9% APR for 72 months. And here's more good news. Qualifying Colorado residents can save an additional $3,500 with the Colorado EV tax credit. Go to landmarklincoln.com or visit them down in Englewood and take home a beautiful 2025 Corsair GT. Do it. I bet you won't. You better, though. Okay, moving on. Moving on. I think we have Driven Opinions, which is one of my favorite segments right here on the show. If you don't know about it, here it is. I take a back seat. The back seat's a hot seat. All gas, no brakes on hot takes. My producer has come up with a couple little prompts, questions, you name it. She's got it, and I have no idea what she picked. So we're going to get into that. And of course, this is driven by Landmark Lincoln. Yeah, that's my dance for today. Andy says she's got 2 driven opinion topics for me today. So let's get into it. First and foremost, Andy, what do you have for me? If you could only eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be and why? Goodness. Guys, I got to tell you about a little experience I had. Okay. I think my answer would be tacos. Hear me out. Every once in a while, I crave a fake meat taco. Late night, Doritos Locos, Taco Bell taco. Okay. Some nights I crave my dad's world famous street tacos that are about as good as they come. I was just in New York City, folks. Okay. And let me tell you a couple of things that I learned while I was in New York City. I could never live there. And a lot of people got in the comment sections of this video I posted. They're like, no, you'd be fine because we walk everywhere in New York. Well, I don't particularly like to walk. So I'd probably be calling Ubers way more than I should. That's my problem. So I don't think I could live in New York, and I'm going to tell you why. I would be 1,000 pounds. I'd have my own TLC show, I would imagine. Yes. I ate more food than I've ever... Half the time I was eating, you guys, I wasn't even hungry. That's my problem. That's the beef I have with myself. I wasn't even hungry half the time, and I was just putting stuff in my DoorDash cart. Yep. Oh, you recommend this place? Cool. Got it. Let me tell you about some place I just went to. I didn't even go. I DoorDashed it to my hotel bed, and I ate it over white towels in my bed like a sicko. Okay? These birria tacos that I had with consomme, Never had it before, guys. Yeah, I'm uncultured. I need to get my life together. I could have bathed in this consomme. What the hell did they put in that stuff? It was unbelievable. I had this birria taco that was sent straight from the heavens above. It was the best thing I've ever had in my life. So you're catching me fresh off of eating what I would consider one of the most beautiful tacos I've ever had in my life. So I would say tacos. I would say tacos, and I'm going to tell you why as well. Breakfast tacos. They're small, they're easy, you could do a lot with them. I've had a taco that's got fried chicken on it, and it was delicious. Shout out Torchy's, okay? I've had every type of taco you can imagine, and I just don't think I'd ever be sick of it. Fish taco. You're sick of the beef? Fine, get a fish one. They're just as good. One of my favorite tacos from Torchy's Tacos is Mr. Pink. It's a salmon taco. It's delicious. I would say tacos. The only reason I didn't pick pasta is because pasta makes me large. It's true. I don't think I should be carb loading for every single meal. So I would say probably tacos. And I think that's a very fair answer. I am a huge Mexican food girly. And I actually think, if we're being honest, you can prove me otherwise. Drop it in the comments section. But Mexican food in Colorado low-key sucks. It does. So when I went to New York and I was eating Mexican food out there, I couldn't believe it. The woman was truly too stunned to speak. So all she kept doing was shoveling down her face. It's true. I love tacos. So that's my answer. Fresh off of one of the best tacos I've ever had in my life. Yes, it's true. Okay, next prompt. What'll it be? What actress is playing you in a movie about your life? Okay, this is the only reason I'm saying this is not because of appearance. If it were appearance, I'd probably say Zoe Saldana. I get that a lot. I've been told a lot that I look like Zoe Saldana. I've also been told that I look like a black Mila Kunis. I get that a lot. All the time, actually. I get told that my voice sounds like Khloe Kardashian at times, which I don't really hear that, but I do get told that often. Who I will tell you, though, from a personality perspective, because we're currently watching a show right now that I feel like me and this character that she plays and just her as an actress really, like, we resonate. It's Maya Rudolph. I think I would want her to play me. She's very fun. She's loud. She's funny, and she just got a really big personality and very sarcastic. I really, really like her. So I would probably say her from a personality perspective. Khloe Kardashian is my voice actress because that's what people say. And then either Mila Kunis with a really great spray tan or Zoe Saldana. There. That was easy, wasn't it? Yes, it was. I nailed those today. Honestly, I got to say it. I really did. Okay, 2 more segments for you, and then I'll let you guys get on with your business. How about that? How does that sound? We're going to get into my off my chest segment. And here it is. Injuries. Let's talk about the injury thing, okay? That Commanders game, let me tell you something. One, we could start with the most obvious, which is, should Jaden Daniels have even been playing in that game? You're down 31 in the fourth quarter. Should you have your starting quarterback in there? Unfortunately, the Denver Broncos have now set a relatively unrealistic standard, which is you could enter the fourth quarter down by 33 points and make it happen. It's true. They've now set a little bit of an unrealistic standard here that the game is not over till it's over. Whether or not you believe Jaden Daniels should have been playing in that game is truly irrelevant. What I have a really hard time with, and what I'm getting real sick and tired of, is prayers for Jaden Daniels from the NFL account while simultaneously replaying his gruesome injury over and over and over again. And not just replaying it, but replaying it in slow motion. Enough. Okay? If we didn't see it in real time, we weren't meant to see it. Okay? And honestly, even if we did see it in real time or we didn't and we're curious, some things are better left unseen. I don't, in my lifetime, ever want to watch a great young quarterback in the league repeatedly in my timeline and on my television screen, slow-mo, getting injured and his season being over. I'm good off of it. And we do it a lot, guys. We really do. Even CJ Stroud's hit. Save it for the replay center to figure out whether or not you're going to throw the flag. We don't need to see it in slow-mo with a little NFL jingle ringtone in the background like we're supposed to be enjoying what we're watching. We don't. Turn it off. I am so sick of replaying injuries. It's so inhumane. I don't want to see that crap over and over and over again and in slow motion because I already know I'm going to see it on social media because there's going to be some bozo that posts it and is like, oh God, did you see this? Like, fine. Yes, it's going to be on my timeline regardless. But the actual broadcast itself showing replays of injuries, gruesome ones, I might add, over and over and over again is just one, completely unnecessary. It's gross. I don't want to watch it. And it's sad. Nobody wants to see that. Like, we already saw it the first time. We're all bummed about it. Commanders fans everywhere were probably boo-hooing. His own teammates, Jaden Daniels' teammates, were obviously devastated. Like, this is your guy. He's probably out for the remainder of the season. We just don't need to see it over and over and over again. I'm just like, come on. Come on. It's going to be on my timeline regardless. People are going to clip it and post it, whatever. But we don't need it coming from the actual broadcast itself or some of these main verified pages that are posting these injuries in slow motion. It's so nasty and I just hate to see it. So that's kind of my off my chest segment here is like, can we please stop replaying gruesome injuries, and certainly so in slow motion? If I didn't see it the first time in real time, I wasn't meant to see it. That's it. And honestly, I don't want to see it half the time. Like, I'm good. It's not something that I enjoy watching. I just don't. So if we could just stop doing that altogether, I think that would be really beneficial for all parties involved. Stop replaying injuries. It's weird and unnecessary. Because if I really want to find the injury, I'll go on X and I'll find it in 2 seconds. I don't need to see it on my big flat screen. Or I don't need it posted by verified media accounts. Let the weirdo fans that are infatuated with that kind of crap post it themselves. And I promise you I'll be able to find it. I don't need to see it everywhere from the big verified media companies. Can we be a little bit more aware? Read the room. We don't need to see this over and over again, for God's sake. Okay, that's all. That's all for me. And now I've got my betting segment. My love language is betting. What do you know about it? It's the truth. I really do. Okay. We've got Monday Night Football. We've got the Dallas Cowboys versus... Why am I drawing a blank? Who is it, Andy? Do we know? Cardinals. Oh, God. So remember earlier I said the teams that have nothing to lose and everything to gain can be the most dangerous. It's true. I don't feel that way, though, in this situation. I do think, despite the Swiss cheese defense that this Cowboys team has, their offense is enough in this spot. I like the Cowboys to cover. And honest to gosh, if they don't, shut the whole thing down. Shut it down and move on. I mean, throw in the towel at that point. If you can't beat this, 2-5? Is that what the Cardinals are? 2-5? Team who has lost 5 straight, I'm pretty sure. You can't get it together here and not just win, but win comfortably. I'm afraid I have nothing left for you. Sorry, Cowboys. Nothing left for you if you can't get the job done tonight. So I ultimately think the offense will prevail in a big way. Dak Prescott, like I said, has been playing at an MVP level. I don't expect anything less tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give the edge tonight to the Cowboys in a primetime spot to cover the spread. And like I said, if they don't, I've got nothing left to say about this team. You won't hear me speak about the Cowboys again in my life if they don't cover the spread tonight versus a 2-5 Cardinals team. I'm not joking. I am not joking. Okay. Next, CeeDee Lamb, anytime touchdown. I like him to get in the end zone tonight. I do. I like this offense. I do. I actually like this Cowboys offense. So, and CeeDee's a huge part of that. Give me CeeDee Lamb anytime touchdown tonight. You could probably make a case for Pickens as well. And I was kind of close with that one, but feels like a good CeeDee night, honestly. It really, really does. So I'm going to go CeeDee Lamb. I think that he is a big target for Dak Prescott tonight versus this Cardinals team. So I'm going to go with CeeDee as an anytime touchdown scorer. My last few betting plays have to do with the Nuggets game. Okay. Because I'm going to the Nuggets game tonight. Yes. Why are you going, Liv? Why? Because Russell Westbrook's back in town, baby. What about it? And I love Russell Westbrook, and you guys know that. So don't be shocked. Don't act shocked, okay? First and foremost, I'm going to go Nikola Jokic over on rebounds. Yeah, you know why? Because he plays very well against Sabonis every time. And that's not me dogging on Sabonis. I love him. I've always loved betting on him, watching him play. Big fan. But Jokic historically does very well versus Sabonis when going head to head. So I like him over on rebounds. I also believe the Kings, if I'm not mistaken, on the season have been giving up the most rebounds to opposing centers this year. And we know Nikola Jokic, triple-double machine this year, just like every other. So I don't expect him to slow down in this game. The only thing that could potentially stand in the way of the overs that I've placed is a potential blowout where you sit your starters. Hate to see that. But if it means that I lose my bet and the Nuggets just comfortably won, I'm good with it. I truly am. So I like Nikola Jokic over on rebounds. And then also, I like Aaron Gordon to score 15 plus points tonight. Listen, there's been a little bit of variance in his offensive production following that 50 piece he dropped game 1 of the season, okay? There's been a little bit of variance. However, I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that this team has some depth and we're kind of allowing other guys to get involved, which is a great thing. That being said, Aaron Gordon has a very strong history versus the Sacramento Kings. He scored 20 plus in both matchups against them last season. And I think this is a good opportunity for him to kind of get back into his groove thing at home, show a little bit more offensive production. We haven't seen, like I said, we've seen a lot of ups and downs and ebbs and flows with him offensively following that 50 piece. But I think this is a great opportunity given his history against Sacramento and how well he plays and how well he scores. I like Aaron Gordon in a big way tonight, 15 plus for him. So there. What else do you want from me, guys? That's all I've got. That's all I've got for this episode of Mood Swings. And, we'll be back again Friday because I'm not getting on an airplane. No, not anytime soon. That really ticked me off. I'm over it. So I will be back for another episode of Mood Swings Friday, 4 p.m. Mountain Time, and we'll break down the Broncos Thursday night game. Yeah, we'll have plenty to talk about on Friday, I would imagine. Plenty. So we'll preview the NFL slate for Sunday. We'll talk about the Broncos Thursday night football game versus the Raiders, a division rival. We'll kind of catch everything up on the NBA. I haven't talked a ton about the NBA as of late, but we will definitely get back into that. So just know, guys, the NBA is a long season. You guys know how this goes. We'll have plenty of time to discuss all things NBA. But for now, I'm getting out of here so I can head over to Ball Arena and watch the Denver Nuggets, hopefully get a dub versus the Sacramento Kings. Until then, enjoy your week. Thanks for hanging with me for another episode of Mood Swings with Liv Moods. I'm Liv Moods, signing off until Friday. We'll see you then, 4 p.m. Mountain Time. And as always, this has been presented by Landmark Lincoln. See ya.